everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here is your daily forecast for the day of Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. Uranus is changing signs this month, May 15th, coming very soon, and it's totally going to revolutionize one part of your life, going to shake it up, change it in a really big way, okay? I'm doing a webinar on Uranus and Taurus for free, a live webinar. It's going to be a live video. It's actually going to be on Facebook in a Facebook group this Wednesday, May 9th. At 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. my time. Okay, so if you want to just see me talk about that, ask me any questions, hear what I have to say, then please join that Facebook group at the link down below to hear more about Uranus and Taurus, what it's meant historically, what I think it will mean in the future, what it'll mean for your sign, and we can talk about it there. Now, for your horoscope, we have the moon here in Aquarius today, the beginning of the day, bringing our attention, of course, to the future, to where we see our life going. It's kind of a weird thing because the moon was just on the south node bringing our attention to the past. So we're trying to figure out how to bring the past into new chapters, how to do the past differently or better, how to envision a future for ourselves that we really like coming in. Also thinking about how we can socialize, be out and about more with friends, and just lighten up a little bit, take some of the pressure off of our life, okay? So I think that's what's going on here with this moon in Aquarius. Now at the very end of yesterday and today, we had this moon in Aquarius in a trine with Venus and in a square with the sun. That kind of brought up some conversations here with relationships, where you see your relationships going, also about money, where you see your life going with money, how you can take some old maybe relationship chapters, some old situations with money and move them forward, coming in. Okay, with the square to the sun, perhaps some of these conversations that you were having about relationships, money, and your values, about the things that are important to you, had a lot to do with how you can stop changing things so much and start to build more of that stability in life, more of that confidence to move forward in a better way, okay? I don't know if I explained that the most clearly in yesterday's video, but I'm hoping that I hit the things I missed right now. Okay, so that's what's going on. May not be the best time to initiate plans to start something, but it is a good time to adjust your perspective to what you need to do better or differently, so that at the new moon, which is only going to be a week, you can start to put some of these things now that you're mulling over into practice, into place in a much better way, okay? So that's what we've got coming in yesterday into this morning. Then today, 5 a.m. Mountain Time, the moon moves further through Aquarius and it comes into a sextile here with Mercury. And those of you know I like sextiles. This to me I think can bring very early this morning an opportunity for you to have a good conversation with yourself, with other people, about who you are, about where you see your life going, about a unique solution that you need to fix an old problem from the past to move forward in a more stable way, feeling much better. All right, I think that can come in very early this morning, which I do like. Good conversations, good thoughts that are constructive, that are positive, that are helping you. Okay, and that's going to sit with us for most of the day, because after the moon sextiles Mercury at 5 a.m. Mountain Time this morning, it's just going to hang out there until 7 o'clock at night Mountain Time. And at 7 p.m. the moon, as it moves further through Aquarius, is then going to come here into a sextile with Uranus. Again, a very positive thing, I like to think, because it is a sextile, because it is Uranus. And Uranus is the natural ruler of Aquarius, and I think again what could also come in perhaps at 7 p.m. tonight is something unexpected, and I like to think this is going to be a good thing, an unexpected insight in regards to you. Maybe it comes from a friend, maybe a friend, since we're talking about Aquarius and Uranus, helps you as well to move forward in a better way. Maybe also you get more insight about what you want your future to look like, about what your dream life would be. You know, to me an Aquarius question is very, what do you want to be when you grow up, and thinking about all these different options, and maybe you start to get more of an insight perhaps from a friend late tonight about what you ultimately want your life to look like, what would be your dream scenario, and how you can start to move forward on that, or how you can dream new and better dreams that can support your growth in a more stable way in the future, okay? So that's what I see going on there. Then after that happens, 2 hours later, 9 o'clock at night Mountain Time, the moon then moves into Pisces. Okay, so after we get some insights about our life, after we have lots of conversations about where we see our life going, about what we need to do to solve some old problems to move forward, then once we get to 9 p.m. moon in Pisces, it becomes a lot to, okay, now that we've got this insight, now that we know perhaps what we need to do in some way to proceed forward? How can we overcome the past, overcome an old way of thinking in Pisces? How can we learn everything from all of this change that we've been going through in our lives since January, maybe even before that? How can we make sense of all of this, integrate it, learn from it, so that we can move forward in a better way, not feeling held down by the past in the same ways that the past has been holding us down? The moon also in Pisces, I like to think, brings more of our attention to spirituality, to what you feel spiritually. Okay, now that we've spent the past few days in Aquarius intellectually processing things, trying to think and mull things over in our mind, what does your spirit say? What do you say internally? What do you need in order to feel the most at peace and the most at whole with your life? The most whole. And out of all of these options and things that you've been mulling over in your mind for the past day, which one or two really means the most to you inside that you think can help you move forward in the best way, bring you more peace coming in? Okay, the moon in Pisces as well, to me, definitely brings more of an attention towards compassion, being compassionate with yourself, being compassionate with other people, being creative, using your imagination, okay, and listening to the promptings of the spirit being super important to help you get and help you better understand what your next steps forward will be, okay? And that's what we're going to come in after 9 p.m. the next 2 days with, trying to overcome the past and get more in touch with who we are spiritually and what we need inside, so that we can take some of the insights of the past few days and begin to hopefully feel much better about them, so that we can move forward at the new moon being more comfortable and confident with where life is going, okay? So that's what we've got there. Other stuff going on in the background. We have Mercury in a square with Pluto. Mercury's moving fast nowadays because it's no longer in the retrograde stuff that's going on. So it's already kind of moving away from Pluto very quickly, but it was there yesterday. It will be there a little bit for the beginning of today. Here, Mercury in a square with Pluto. Again, bringing up very intense conversations with other people. If these aren't with other people, it's just inside. This is the way it's been with me. I've had like a storm cloud in my brain for the past a few hours or a day or so, okay? And it can definitely bring up inner turmoil, working a lot of things out in your mind, working a lot of things out with other people. I think you're trying to figure out how you need to organize your time, your money, your resources, your relationships, so that you can have a situation that's better for you, that supports more of your true wants and desires moving forward. And I think we're trying to figure all of that out. The moon in Aquarius saying sometimes the unique solution, a solution you haven't thought of before, is going to be key coming in to help you solve some of these things going on, okay? With Pluto involved, and because this is a square, these conversations that you're having with other people, I hope I've made this clear, may not be the most friendly, may not be the most kind, and needing to make sure that when you are communicating with people, that you're not letting your passions, your fears, your insecurities, sometimes especially with Pluto, you get subconscious stuff, make situations worse for you than they need to be. And to make sure that, sure, you're talking about things that are important to you and that may have an emotional impact, but that you're talking about them in a way that is clear and doesn't inflame the situation, which can happen with Mercury here in a square with Pluto, okay? We're making some necessary adjustments in our life. I think there are some adjustments, tweaks, changes we need to make in order to have more of a situation that works for us, but there's a lot to be said about how we go about having these conversations, making those changes. And again, I think maybe you need to sit and let things kind of work out and play their course instead of forcing things, which we may want to do this week, okay? So that's happening with Mercury in a square with Pluto. We also do have Venus and Gemini in a square with Neptune, which is starting to come off today as well, bringing up confusion about relationships, confusion about money, confusion about our values and what's important to us, even if we are trying to have conversations to change some of these things. It's like, we know things are not quite right. We know that in order to bring more stability and confidence into our lives, we need to renegotiate some of our boundaries with other people, some of the ways that we do things ourselves, but maybe we're confused and not quite sure or clear on what that is, or maybe we've got a lot of things going on emotionally that need to be addressed. And I think both of these things together are saying work things out. Like, there's a lot to be said for inner conflict and for conflict with other people. Like, conflict is not always bad because it helps us refine who we are, what we want, what's important to us, okay? So let yourself fight with yourself a little bit. Let yourself mull things over in your mind that you need, but don't get frustrated if you don't have the answers yet. Don't get frustrated if things aren't entirely clear. Don't get frustrated if other people don't do what you want them to do, because that as well could be a thing that could come in this week, okay? I think you need to be patient and wait for the answers to come and consider your options. And once you allow yourself to think in different ways and to be patient, then I think more of the answers are going to start to come to you, hopefully later this week, to give you more insight on what it is that you need to do, okay? So that's what I see coming in here, especially with the Neptune square with Venus, compassion to being important for other people. We're all going through our own stuff. We all have our own journeys. We all have things that aren't the easiest, okay? And sometimes it just takes time for all of this stuff to come out and for people to make more known what they're feeling inside in a more clear and concise kind of way. All right, that's there. We also do have Mars in Capricorn as well, and a square with Uranus, which could definitely bring unexpected actions, us doing something unexpectedly, people doing something unexpected to you, especially with Uranus at 29 degrees. Unexpected things is kind of the rule of the day, and will be for the next 2 weeks or so, maybe longer, okay? Coming in. I think people are just fed up, frustrated. We're so close to getting what we want, but it's not quite there yet. It's not quite right. Things aren't maybe what we want. Getting frustrated, feeling like we're never going to have things the way that we want. So just be careful if anything unexpected happens. And again, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff with Mars this week by squares, needing to tame some of your own feelings. It's good to be passionate. It's good to have desires. It's good to want to figure some things out, but just balance it here with some reason, with some intellect, with some other things, with some sensitivity, so that you can make sure that the things you are doing, if you do want to do something unexpected, if you do want to break free from an old situation, so that you can make sure that breaking free from this thing is really right for you, can really last, and that you're doing it in a way where you can solve problems instead of create more for yourself in the process, okay? So that's what's going on there, happening. The other thing I want to mention is the Sun also in Taurus in an opposition with Jupiter today as well, bringing more of a focus to building the stability in our life. Could be hard because, again, more changes we feel we need to make, more stuff going on. If you need to make the changes, but really try to make changes that are going to help you feel better, okay, and bring more stability to you instead of less, even if you have to have some hard conversations with people. But be patient if you do have some hard conversations with people, okay, and try to be understanding and not overreact in the process, okay? So there's that. Also, the Sun too, about to come into a trine with Pluto, saying there could be, I think we're trying to finally get in all the changes that we have to make to where we see our life going, to finally step into a better life that we feel more confident about. And I think we're almost there. We really are. Even if we feel frustrated, we're almost there to a spot that's really good for us, where we're going to have things figured out. It's just a matter of keeping on, believing in yourself, doing what it is that you need, and not being afraid to transform yourself from the inside out to step into what you've been working on. All right, so that's what's going on there. Now your card for the day is the Empress upright. This to me, I like it. This to me is more of a card of Pisces, but definitely a card of creativity, creation. And I normally see this too as a very mothering and nurturing card. It does have Venus, the Venus symbol on the card. And I typically think of the Empress as pregnant, although I don't know, it doesn't look like she's pregnant in this card. But I think today is a good day to nurture yourself emotionally, especially with Venus on this card, to pay attention to your relationships, to be patient and compassionate with the other people in your life, to seek out other people for advice and for help. Other people are not necessarily the enemies. Other people can help you if you go to them with an honest heart, approach them in the right ways, coming in, okay? And you as well are not the enemy either. If you just spend time getting in touch with who you are, being caring for yourself and being caring for others, I think you can get a lot of the answers and a lot of support that you need. And I think the Empress, yeah, is just here to remind us you are okay. You are loved, you are cared about, the things in your life can be fixed. Maybe they just need a little bit more TLC, a little bit more tender love and care, and need to be nurtured a little bit more before we can start to see the results of all of our labors that can come at the end of it, okay? So that's what I've got for you. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will talk to you later.